Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to another bench update. It's been about 6 weeks since my last one, so I figured I'll do a quick update, what I've been up to and that kind of stuff, some purchases, the usual stuff. Let me just adjust this camera a little bit. There we go. So I just did this video. I just went through the whole thing for half an hour and realized I didn't hit play on my camera, so now I'm gonna have to do it again. Well, knucklehead. So I'm gonna have to go through the whole thing again. So maybe I'm more polished this time. So let's talk about a few things that what I've been up to. I want to talk about some Games Workshop experience I had, which is a pretty cool one I want to share with you guys, and some of the stuff I purchased. It shouldn't be a super long video, just a quick update kind of thing. So, what I've been working on. So, again, it's second time around. I can't believe I didn't hit play. What idiot I am. So, anyway, I've been working a little bit on this guy a few weeks ago, the F-5 from AFV Club, the 48 scale one. Great kit, great detail on it, but the fit wasn't that fantastic though, to be honest with you, unfortunately. Well, here it's all I got to, pretty much ready for the canopy and primer, but I put this one back in the box a couple of weeks. I kind of lost mojo working the aircraft, so we'll talk about that in a minute too. So it's very modular and there's a lot of gaps and stuff I have to fill. It wasn't the best fitting kit, which maybe it must be on me, because a lot of people say how great this kit is, but I say it was a little tricky to get this thing together. Certainly wasn't a Tamiya fit, and one thing that didn't help either was I bought the Ares gun bay for this, which the panel's actually open already. This is the open panel, and you just put it in. But guess what? You can see I sanded all the way through there, and I sanded pretty much all the way through here, and I'm still 2 or 3 mil out for the fitting. So it doesn't fit at all. Typical Ares, so there's another $5, $10 wasted. But yeah, I pretty much, the only way you can do it is you leave no wheel well in there. But if you have the gun bay open, you wouldn't have the wheels up, right? So it doesn't fit. So don't waste your money on that one. I did my part 1 of the video. This video got maybe start next year, 2022. I got a lot going on before then, but I talk about it and we go through it and stuff, but no way is this thing fitting. So it's a big fail from Ares on that one. But yeah, overall, okay. Like I said, a lot of filler needed. It's so modular, these different components going together. I guess maybe I'm making so many different versions out of the one kit, but yeah, so I'm up to this stage, and like I said, we're just waiting for the canopy to go on and get it ready for priming. So that's the F5. I think I want to call it the F4, but F5. And then back from nowhere is this guy, Minibase SU-33, which you guys will know I've been badgering away on this one since it first came out about 4 months ago, maybe. I don't lose track of all time, but yeah, this is so sat my mojo so much I can't touch any other aircraft. It's just destroyed it. But I plowed through a couple of weeks ago, and once as I got paint on, I actually started enjoying it. The paint for me is what I enjoy doing, and I really enjoy putting the scheme down. A little bit different to the usual grays. I think it turned out really good. So I got the paint down, paint's all done, even like the wings, all separate parts of the wing, I guess, goes on something like that kind of thing, folded up. So, and then tails are done, that kind of stuff. So we're all looking good shape. Still tons more work to do. So the stencils are really nice because they're actually yellow, so you actually see them. Whereas there's nothing worse than building a grey aircraft with grey stencils or black stencils. You just can't see it. It's a waste of time. At least with yellow, you can actually kind of, you see the camera, but you can actually see the stencils on here. But yeah, it's looking really good. So still a lot of work left. I got to build the nozzles. I got all the pylons, doors at the bottom, all the weapons left. I mean, touch that. The gear we have done, so hopefully it just glues in place. Still about 200 more stencils to go. I did get two sheets of decals on this for some reason. I don't know if it's an error or they just give you a spare set, but I did get 2 sets. So I've done the whole top side, but now that my mojo is waning again because I spent a day putting stencils on. So now I've got to plow through maybe, 30, 40 a day to get this thing, the underside and the sides done, to get this thing finished and ready for weathering and stuff. But yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. But yeah, this thing sapped my mojo. Also, I'm worried because I kept starting this project, I forgot to put nose weight in. So hoping that doesn't burn me later on. Also, I'm very nervous about the tails at the back, because it's very complex how they fit in. I don't think it's going to click in place very easily. So if they don't, it's going to be a nightmare, because I have to, with decals on and stuff, I'm going to have to go back over and fill it and that kind of stuff. So fingers crossed they just kind of click in place, which I hope. I don't want to try it right now because I may not be able to get them out again. So it's a lot easier just to paint and weather these things separately, because I couldn't imagine like masking camo and stuff what's attached to the side of the aircraft. That'd be a right nightmare. So yeah, that's the SU-33. People say it's the best kit, 48 scale kit ever. I don't think so. I mean, there's projection pin marks. The fit was questionable in some areas. You saw me get the fuselage together. The front end, there was a step. I think the Tamiya F-14 is a better kit. I mean, less detail and parts, but it just clicks together. It's a beautiful engineered kit. Now, I don't know why, but these videos get more troll comments than any other video I have. And I wish I knew the name. I'd name and shame him. But there's some dude, and he kind of shows everything that's wrong with the modeling world, like the IPMS and stuff. He made some comment like, oh, this is a great kit. I should know because I'm an IPMS judge. So what? And he's like, yeah, you can't build it. You can't even put a mini art kit together and blah 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 blah. I wish I flashed. I wish I, you know, those kind of people I just block from my channel completely immediately. Don't respond, just block them. So, but yeah, so I get all those kind of comments on this one, and I don't pretend to be a great modeler or anything. I'm just an average kind of guy throwing these things together. But again, I mention this all the time, but I guess people don't get it. It's the different parts of the hobby, you know, which people find interesting. I don't find putting 60 parts on a nose wheel interesting for me. It's just not a fun hobby. I like to get stuff put together pretty quickly on my bench, painted, weathered, finished, moved on, and get my projects cycling through every month or so. I don't like sitting on one project for about a year because it just saps all the fun out of the hobby for me. That's just, I like to see progress. So there are people out there who build big giant battleships and spend years building them, and people who like do amazing detail work and stuff. Fine, that's a different part of the hobby. If you do that, that's great. I don't mind, but for me personally, again, I'll go over this again. I don't like putting 60 parts on a nose wheel. It's just boring for me. It's just not an interesting hobby. So it's not my lack of skill. I mean, I sat and I did it. It's just I don't want to spend hours doing nose wheel when I could spend my time doing other stuff and more enjoyable things like, I don't know, going out to eat or something, I don't know. But anyway, that's my mini rounds over. So this guy, again, getting there. Still a lot more work to do. It's probably going to go on for a few more months. I don't think I can keep building it. I'm gonna have to put it between projects and stuff. So that's that one. So that kind of stole the mojo from me with the aircraft. So when I thought I'd crack open a new kit, try the F5, and I just couldn't. It just wasn't enjoyable for me. I just felt really kind of like boring, and I don't know. I just didn't enjoy building aircraft. I mean, I've built so many, and the mojo's gone. I mean, it'll come back, but this kit just sucked the life out of me, to be honest with you. It's just so many over-engineered, so many pieces. It just wasn't enjoyable at all. So anyway, so we'll get it finished, and I think once it's finished in a way, then it's one of those kits, probably as soon as I finish it, we'll go on eBay and out of my house and gone forever, and then I just move on to my next project, because it just, again, it's just not an enjoyable build. So anyway, so that's over with, and that's really all I've been working on, other than, I got a Games Work, we'll talk about it in a minute, but I got Games Workshop Ogre. I just put through together last night, put some primer on, something a little bit different to paint, but that's pretty much it. I mean, it's been so hot. I know everybody's complaining about the heat, but it's been hot. Been busy with the kids. I've been really tired recently too. It's just add that Minibase SU-33. It just kind of taking me out the hobby a little bit. So also been working on that a little bit, a few hours here and there on the Eagle Moss Mustang, the Mustang car, not the plane, the 1/8 scale one. Now on that one, some housekeeping. I get no like views or interest on that one, so there's no point in me spending my time and my effort, you know, recording videos, editing, all that kind of stuff. When I got like 25 views in a day, it's just not worth it for me, you know, my time. So I've made a decision to cancel that series. So I'm not going to show it again on my channel. I tried it, and it wasn't. Nobody has any interest in it. So I put a note in the comments of the one that went up earlier this week or last week, part number 3 or 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build it offline, enjoy it myself, and maybe periodically on channel updates I'll show you where I'm at. But I'm not going to take time to film it and that kind of stuff. So it does take enjoyment out of building it for me. And also, again, if I get no views or no interest in it, there's no point in me doing that. So I cancelled that build series. I won't be showing any of those on my channel anymore. And what else? So I guess a nice segue now and move on to Games Workshop. So let me tell you a little bit about an experience at Games Workshop. Happened to me 2 or 3 weeks ago. I just kind of want to share that and talk a little bit about my kids and how I got them into the hobby, and some great experience I had. So I have a WarHammer store about a mile, 2 miles away, real close by. I guess I'm lucky if you're into that kind of stuff. And so I picked my kids up from school a couple of weeks ago, And I want to go by just to check it out because I thought, firstly, the kids would kind of like it because they're dragons and fantasy stuff. They'll probably like looking so weird, you know, the figures and stuff. They'll like looking at it. And secondly, I was looking for a little project for myself, just kind of something a little different. I always like challenge to do new things. I want to get more into figure painting, like busts and stuff. And I thought, you know, maybe a couple of Game Workshop figures might just get the mojo going. Something completely different. Just build a couple, like say the Ogre or something, and just, I don't know, something way different, just challenge myself. I actually saw online a black dragon, which is kind of cool. I thought I could airbrush that, like airbrush a cool dragon and just, I don't know. I meant that if I get a reasonable standard, like that dragon, I could just like flip it on eBay and get my money back for it, basically, because people always looking to buy like painted Games Workshop stuff. So anyway, so I'm going digressing. So went to the store after school, and went in there, and they started looking around, and there's one lady working there, I don't remember or know her name, but she was super friendly and had a good personality and stuff, and she asked me any questions. We're just like looking around, and then my daughter picked up, they had like a full set kind of stuff painted like on display, so my daughter kind of gravitated towards that. So I have two kids, I have two daughters, I have a 3.5-year-old and a 6-year-old. So my 6-year-old kind of gravitated towards that, and then she started asking a bunch of questions like 6-year-olds do, and they had like a conversation. You know, people were waiting to check out and stuff, but she was so patient with them. She answered all the questions and stuff, and she was really, you know, in a friendly way. So I think so much in this hobby right now, like a lot of model stores are closed down, and some that do exist. There's some, you know, people who work there aren't friendly or maybe a little socially awkward, that kind of stuff. But she was really nice, and it shows you what a good customer experience can do. So we spent like 10-15 minutes looking around the store, and then we're about to leave, and she asked, hey, is it okay if you get a free figure? So I was like, sure. So she gave him a free figure, which is in a box here, and it came on a sprue. So basically one little sprue with about 10 pieces. I think this is an easy figure. I think it's like a click together kind of thing, because my daughter didn't use any glue on this. So she first gave her this figure. Well, first let's take a step back. So she walked out, took the figure, and then she mentioned too, when leaving, she said, well, if you ever guys want to come back, I'll do free painting classes for an hour. Just call me up anytime you want, we can do one. So I was like, cool. So anyway, so I came home, I was getting dinner ready, and then my daughter sat at my workbench here, picked up some sprue colors, and whilst having my back to her making dinner in like 10 minutes, she actually put this thing together herself. Like no help, no instructions, nothing. She just clipped the pieces off and slotted them all together, and she had a blast. She had a lot of fun doing this. She kind of started painting this too, but whatever this guy is, I think it's from a new Dominion set or something, I don't know. But anyway, so really positive experience. So she had the figure, they both built them, had a lot of fun. And then a couple of days later, they were on at me about painting. So I called them up, and the same lady answered at the store, and I said, hey, I know you might be busy on Saturday, but do you have anything available, like for painting? She said, sure. Like, don't come in the morning because we're super busy, but anytime in the afternoon's great. So I made a 2 o'clock appointment. This was like maybe like the Wednesday or whatever. We went down there on a Saturday for the appointment at 2 o'clock, and they brought their little figures with them, and they had such a great time. She spent an hour with them, so she taught them all the basics. So she taught them how to get like the paint out like Citadel pots, how to mix it with water, like even like how to hold a paintbrush, how to like mix the paint properly, how to put a base layer down, priming it, how to put a wash on. They put a wash on it. So look, all those techniques, which, you know, common to any modeling thing. And it's totally free. They provided all the paints, everything, and she was super nice and patient with them, and really good. And they left just like having just a great store experience. So I actually reached out to Games Workshop and sent them an email and just saying what a great experience it was, because it's one of those things where they may not do Games Workshop or any of this stuff right now, but we've all had those experiences in the past where we've done some modeling with a parent or with a brother or sister or something, and then we go away, and then 10, 20, 30 years later we come back and we remember that. It kind of gets the juices flowing, like, oh, I built a Games Workshop figure once, so maybe I want to paint a bust or build an airplane or a car or something. So I think I was just really impressed like how they handled that and bringing kids in and stuff. This stuff is obviously way too expensive for a 6-year-old. You know, a pack of figures, $40 or whatever, that's not going to work, because, you know, just throw these things together and paint and stuff, it's way too expensive. But you can get other things like reproduce figures like $2, and you get stuff on eBay, and, you know, you can paint plastic dinosaurs from the dollar store, you know, that kind of thing. It's just a really cool experience I want to share. And now they're all about looking to build and paint stuff and kind of got them in a hobby. So if you guys have any kids, or even if you're an adult wanting to learn any kind of painting skills, whatever, if you have a Games Workshop store near you, I think they're called WarHammer now, right? They're rebranded. They should be able to do a class, but I think it's obviously going to depend on each store as well, because like I said, the lady who worked there was super friendly and very personable, whereas I get that maybe some of these stores, some of these people might be a little bit more socially awkward and may not be so good at like teaching stuff and being so chatty with people. I don't know, maybe that's just bad perception, but anyway, so that's the Games Workshop experience I want to share. So that's really positive. I got my kids in like almost the modeling hobby, and so much so that the other night I got some of these tune kits. She pulled out one of this Tiger Tank, this main tune kit, and started throwing this together as well. Again, I don't think you need any glue with these things, but just kind of getting going with some modeling stuff. So that then spun me on. I thought, well, I felt obliged because they spent all that time kind of showing me stuff, and I didn't want to walk out with nothing. So I did buy something for myself. I thought I just wanted something simple to paint. So I just showed you I bought the Ogre. So I bought, this is called Blood Bowl. So I think what it is a fantasy football game with like American football game with like, you know, giants and elves and that kind of stuff. I have no intention of playing this. I just bought this set because you get 4 ogres and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 12 little goblins or something to paint. And I thought maybe that's something kind of cool to throw together and paint. So like I said, last night I threw together the Ogre and primed it. I'm going to paint it. So you can see that's kind of what you get. It's just something a little bit different. So I thought I always like trying new things and help my paint brushing and hand painting, that kind of stuff. So I bought that, and then obviously all my paints are like model color, so they're all like World War II historical colors. I need some other colors, so I went and got some Citadel paints while I was there too, which is kind of interesting because if you go to a store and buy 10, you get the cheapest one free, which adds a question of that one. So these little guys are like $4, and the big one's like $7 or $8. This is like a contrast paint, so I got the $7, $8 paint free when I bought these 9 little ones. So that's a pretty good deal. So I think we all know that these Citadel pots are crap, so I'm gonna this weekend I'm actually going to decant them into dropper bottles and get rid of these tubs because they can dry out easily and they're kind of unwieldy and stuff. So that's my Game Workshop thing. Don't worry, my channel's a ton of Games Workshop stuff. I'm just going to paint this offline. It's not going to even be on my channel. Just something to do offline. Also, it's kind of cool too because I figured if I go on business trips and stuff, you can take this stuff with you with a few paints and a brush, like, and do it like in a hotel and stuff. It's not like you're like building aircraft and you have to take like compressor and airbrush and stuff with you. So it's pretty good stuff for traveling as well. And what I found is, this is not just with Citadel, but if any dropper bottles, like Vallejo dropper bottles and stuff, they're the same size as essence oil, like the beauty industry or whatever. So you can go on like AliExpress or eBay or Amazon and you buy a case for essence oils for 20 ml essence bottles. It holds like 60 paints in like a nice case for about $10. They're really cheap. So it's way cheaper than buying the modeling related stuff. So that's a tip. If you've got dropper bottles and you want to travel with them, go look at the essence oil, like storage tanks, like 60 bottles. And you'd be surprised, they're like padded and like individually kind of like holes, put paints in and stuff. It's actually really cool. So, all right, I'm back. So this is one of those days today. So I thought I lost it for the second time, but luckily my camera, the memory is full, so I managed to erase it and hopefully we get through. I managed to salvage the first half. So let's carry on where I left off. So sorry for the jump cut, but all right, so we're talking about Citadel. Now let's talk about what else we got. So I got a couple of PJ Productions RAF pilots from 1990s, 72nd scale, like super tiny. It's really hard to get RAF pilots of any sort in 48 or 72nd. But I got 2 packs because, as you know, I got Desert Babes RAF, Edward RAF Tornadoes, and I want to do them in flight, maybe both of them in flight for a diorama or some kind of display. So obviously you don't get figures for the kits, so I thought I'd better buy these. And with the craze going right now with all these tornadoes selling out everywhere, I figured I'd better jump on. So I bought these on eBay actually. It wasn't that badly priced. I think it was like $10 for shipping for both of these guys. So I got both sets, both the same. So I got RAF Pilots for 1990s, 2 packs of those. And the final thing I got was this, which what it is a 120mm figure, which I think is 1/16 scale-ish, of Northern Ireland from maybe, looks like maybe from the early 80s, mid 80s, for a batting gunner and rifleman. Now, you can't find much Northern Ireland stuff out there. I don't know if it's because it's controversial or what the deal, but Falklands and Northern Ireland, there's not tons of stuff out there. My brother is a little bit older than me. He actually served in the British Army in light infantry in Northern Ireland in the 90s, early 90s, like late 90s, yeah, like early mid 90s. So I showed him this, and he kind of was on me about buying it. So the reason I went to Mitches Military Models was I was watching a show on YouTube, one of Fester's 71, I forgot what his channel's called. Anyway, Sunday brunch, and somebody did an awesome diorama of parachute regiment figures and for the ages. So it's like basically a diagram like 6 figures, and it was like one all the way from like World War II through Korea. I know like Vietnam. I'm not really in Vietnam, but Falklands, modern day like Iraq, Afghanistan, that kind of stuff. And I thought that was really cool. So I got my juices flowing because Mitch's military models do awesome, really high quality resin busts and figures, whether it be Napoleonic or modern, all kinds of stuff. And these are the kind of things too, is when you see stuff you like, you need to buy it, because they don't make thousands of these things. There's probably only a couple hundred made, so you can kind of snap them up when you can. So I bought this, my arm twisted my brother, and maybe if I do go ahead and paint it and stuff, maybe it'll go back to him, he can put it in his office or keep it or something. But yeah, there it is again. It's really cool. I'm actually going to put a review of this up so you can see it in more detail. But this is what you get. You get like brick wall, and we get the 2 figures, and 16 scale. So what probably about that? What 120mm height, so what 4 inches high, basically what they're going to be. So looks really cool. The other thing is you don't get any clear parts for the visor and the helmets, but I guess you just use like some food packaging or some acetate or something. It shouldn't be too difficult. But I just saw it's very iconic, and it's just very unusual to get Northern Ireland stuff. So I picked it up where I could to go with my stash of. I have a pretty good stash of figures and busts. So one day, hopefully, I'll get to paint them. My plan is, I've always thought that when I retire, maybe I'll get into more figure painting and spend my time. But I don't know. We'll see. So that's it. So that's yeah. I'm really happy with this guy. Free shipping too. So I'm not sure if it's an error or not, but free shipping from the UK to the US, and yeah, this was £70. Which wasn't so bad. I bought £70 like $100, but you got 2 figures, remember, and the back, and it's quality resin and free shipping. So I thought that wasn't such a bad deal. So I did splurge and got that one, and again, it's probably going to my brother's Andy at some point. But yeah, cool Northern Ireland little piece right there. And then last thing recently literally just bought was just a few paintbrushes from Michael's. So while I was in the Games Workshop store, I was looking at paintbrushes, which I know are questionable, but I was thinking maybe these for dry brushing and stuff, that might be okay, but about $6, $7. So I was in Michael's and the craft store here in the US, and I found these 2 brushes, which they got them marked as the high quality. They have level 1, which is like your basic, and level 2 is like your artist grade. And this was buy one, get one 50%, but even still, they're in like $4 each. And they're actually really good quality looking. So I'm looking forward to trying this out. So I got bridges for like base painting and stuff, a couple of different sizes, maybe dry brushing. But they feel just as good as the Games Workshop stuff. It's not better. And for the price, I thought, they're kind of cool little brushes. So if you could go to Michael's nearby, check it out. I got one of these brushes too for dry brushing. Again, this is like a couple of bucks. If not, they're good for like mixing paint up on a palette, that kind of thing. So yeah, just some random brushes. And that is the complete loot of what I have. So looking around, that's pretty much it. I should have got a 2 months ago when Kitty Hawk went bankrupt, I went on modelhobbies.co.uk and ordered the RAF GR1 Tornado Jaguar, the Kitty Hawk one, which I had my eye on for a while, but I know it's a crappy kit. But I ordered that one, and then a couple of masks and other bits, and it's been 2 months, so I keep waiting, didn't show up. I know it's because of what's going on in the world, but I gave it 6 weeks, emailed them, no response, as usual. Gave it a few more days, emailed them again, and actually just emailed me back like an hour ago saying, yeah, we had a problem with it. We checked and we can't find it, and we had a problem with our computer system around the June, July time, so we don't think it ever shipped, and we don't have any left, so here's a refund. So, oh, well, at least I got my money back, and I can buy something else with it, I guess, but maybe it saved me a lot of hassle not buying a Kitty Hawk kit, but yeah, it kind of sucks, right? Modelhobbies.co.uk, really cheap prices, crappy service, but I keep going back because they're so cheap, and cheap international shipping as well for any aftermarket stuff, good selection of things, but you do find about once every 10, 15 orders, you get an issue, and they're not great responding. So I always use PayPal, and in the past, about 15 orders ago, I had another shipment didn't show up, and I just did a PayPal dispute, and I never even responded to it. I just got my money back that way. So just buyer beware, but as long as you pay PayPal, you get your money back if it doesn't show up. But like I say, 90% of the time, the orders do show up on, within a couple of weeks. They do have all the stuff you need and stuff as well. It's just that odd shipment now and again just goes awry, I guess. So who knows? So maybe a Jaguar will show up in a couple of weeks. I doubt it, but at least I got my money back and can move on with that one, I guess. So that is really it. So plans, upcoming plans. As you see, my AH1Z, which I've shown you guys in the video back in April, I think, the finished model. That starts today. That was a lot of fun. A lot of resin aftermarket went into that. So that build series started on Friday, just gone, and that will go on for about 8 parts, I think. In the meantime, I've got the SU-33, I've got a few parts of that to go up. I'm putting those up every other Tuesday, and in between putting up reviews. So I've got a couple more. I think I've got a Jeep review, and I've got the Northern Ireland one to go up as well. But that's pretty much it. I'm trying to keep my content down to about 2 videos a week. I don't want to like saturate it with too much stuff, you know. I don't think people want to watch that much stuff. So I try to keep it to Friday and Tuesdays where possible now, and just kind of dial it back a little bit. At one point I was doing like 4 videos a week, and that's just, I think it's just too much content, to be honest with you. So plenty of content coming up in the upcoming year. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel, and liking and all that kind of jazz. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I should thank also for all my people. The channel keeps growing. Like I said, this time last year we're at like 300 subscribers. Now we're at like 1750. Hit the year like, I think of Christmas maybe at 600, and then just every month it's going up and up. So I mean, current trend, I'm looking at maybe hit around about Halloween I should hit 2,000 subscribers probably, which is an amazing accomplishment. I'm very humbled and appreciative of all that. And you know, 99% of people are really kind of helpful and courteous, and it really spurs me on when I get kind comments and stuff, and it does great things for me. But then you do now again get knuckleheads who read the comments, and again I don't entertain it. I just block them from the channel. I don't even respond, and move on with my life. I don't want to get into argument with troll and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, thanks for watching. Just a quick channel update. Again, hopefully when I come back in like another 4 or 6 weeks time, I have more progress to talk about, some different projects and stuff. But in the meantime, I'm just going to carry on with this SU-33 and another 250. So they've got like 4 sheets of this decals to put on this guy. So plenty of work this weekend to put these decals on and get working on this, and we'll get moving along. And this will be finished hopefully sometime soon, but still a lot more work to do. But again, as always, thank you. Have a great one. Bye.